Khairy. This is a general interview for basically for Chaldean Archives, and we welcome you here. So we're going to ask you general questions. So please tell us your full name.
Khairy Micha Foumia.
And your birth city and birth date.
I was born in Telkepe, a town north of Iraq. It's about 18 miles north of Mosul. October 27th, 1947.
And what is your wife's name? And where was she born?
She was born in Telkepe too, but since she was 3-4 years old, she moved to Baghdad with her parents.
Okay.
Her name is Hana Patrus Jajukakos.
What year was she born?
1951.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about your childhood in the city you're born, and what other cities did you live in Iraq?
Well, as the kids in Telkepe, we had a very simple life, not complicated. No TV, no radio even when I was born, until about 10-15 years later. About 10 years later, we started having radios. Yeah.
Do you know what year that was?
Well, yes. My family got the radio in 1958.
Okay.
After the revolution, because my older brother wants to hear the news all of the time. So because it was a new revolution in Iraq, and all the youth were very excited, so they want to know what was going on. So then he asked my dad to buy a radio. I remember the first one was on battery. It was not, there was a power in Telkepe, but we didn't have power at our house. Few months later we had it. Okay. Yeah, because it was very limited. The voltage they had, or what do you call it, KV power. KV power was very limited. Till they add some more generators, and then till they had like high power. They brought from the dams, from very major stations. Yeah.
So tell us more about your childhood. What did you do? What school did you go to?
We used to play in the streets, on the roofs with other kids, and or we used to, most of our time when we have no school, we used to go to the fields, especially during springtime. During summertime we were busy because we were helping our parents in agricultural things, what we used to have for like harvesting and harvesting, yeah. And that was a very big operation. First they have to cut by hand, manual, yeah. And then we have to move them to a certain place around Telkepe, and then they had to, like, we had this, a thing we called garagra, to make them, to make these like.
You can say it in Chaldean if.
Well, شبوقة التوريلات البيشيتونا يعني.
Okay. So this
then
the wheat.
Yeah. Then how they separate the wheat from the from what's called tuna.
From the shell.
The shell, yeah. Yes. There was a special what do you call it? Like we call it malkhawa. They have to pull it. It's like a shovel, but it's only wood, like 7 or 9 pieces of wood. Yes. They are tied in one at the end, and from this side is wide opened, so they can.
They pick it up.
They pick it up and throw it on the air.
I see.
So when the air comes, it takes the wheat comes down and
And the shell
the shell goes
it blows away.
blows away.
Yes.
But of course, it depends. If it is very small pieces, it would go farther. So, but we have to gather it
Okay.
to make it in one place. So that I worked in that.
What was that called, that tool in Chaldean?
Malkhawa,
Melchawa. Okay.
but it should be from wood.
Yes.
There was one. There was also from iron or steel, but that was heavy.
Yes.
From wood was better, and it could carry more. The farmer who is doing this, he knows how the wind, where the wind goes, or the air, and which side is blowing to, so he can set up his the pure place of to put those pure wheat or barley, whatever he has.
So your father was a farmer?
He was a farmer. Plus, also when he has, only about 2-3 months they have to dig the ground, and afterwards they have no work. They wait till it grows up. He used to go to other villages in north, like to bring sesame or rice. During summer also they used to go to bring wheat, a special kind of wheat to make, we call it simde, for the barley. That was his job. Also, before that, he used to go like till close to Ahmadiyya, farther than Duhok. They used to bring coal for winter, for people to buy.
Can I see a picture of your father?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Go ahead, continue. So did your father sell all the wheat and stuff? What did he do? Did he sell it?
yeah, it was for selling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your father.
Yeah, that's my father.
So
Yeah.
is he wearing traditional
Yes.
clothes from Tilkepe?
From Tilkepe, yeah.
And do you know how old are these traditional clothes? Have they been worn for hundreds of years? Any
Maybe
idea?
thousands.
Thousands of years.
Well, yeah, there are some statues from Sumerian era.
Yes.
They show this kind of
The same
the same.
headdress
Yeah,
that he has.
yeah,
Okay, wonderful. It looks
Yeah.
beautiful. You know, the clothes that he's wearing looks very.
yeah.
Is this
This
typical?
is in his 80s.
Is this a typical clothes they wear
Yeah.
daily? Daily?
Yes.
Yes.
No, but for work, no. Sometimes, yes, if they are old, they can use them for work, at work, or they have different kind of clothing. Like, it's very wide pants. We call shorwal.
Sherwal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they used to also, because it's easier to move.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
tell me more about your childhood. What school did you go to? What was
Yeah,
your favorite subject?
Well, in my days, we had two elementary schools in Tilkepe. One was called Tilkepe, and another was called Arfan. So I used to go to Arfan school, elementary school, till 6th grade. When I finished 6th grade, I wanted to enter the seminary, to join the seminary. So I went to Baghdad and joined the seminary. In the seminary, I stayed about 7 to 8 years in Baghdad. But only, I can say, the only 2 first years of the seminary were a seminary life. Then they sent us to public schools to get the education, because we used to have our classes inside the seminary. Then the authority of the church decided to send us to the public or to the schools, regular schools, to get our education as all Iraqi youth. And then after, we were supposed after high school to start studying philosophy and theology. But I left the seminary at that age, so I didn't go to the seminary. I didn't get any philosophy or theology education at the seminary.
And
Yeah.
what year did you enter seminary and then?
I entered the seminary. It was in October 60, which was the year of 60, school year 60 and 61, and left 68, 69.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the seminary, who did you see? Did you see any of the clergy, Chaldean clergy?
Oh
that
yeah,
we
of
know
course.
today?
The patriarch used to visit the seminary from many times. I mean, at least twice a month, uh, with his with the bishop also, uh, and we saw usually when they used to have a synod in Baghdad, I used to bring all the bishops to the seminary, also to see the seminarians and to be always in touch. I mean, together, not to feel that we are a family and not be strangers from one another. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a side question: who was the patriarch and who was the bishop at that time?
Yeah, هلا شمانة.
Oh, the patriarch was Paul II Sheikh. He was elected as a patriarch in 1950, late 1958. He passed away in, I believe it was in March 1989. Yeah, and his Victor General was Bishop Delhi, who became later on, Patriarch Emmanuel III, and then Pope gave him a degree of a Cardinal, Emmanuel Delhi. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about your family. How many children do you have? What are ages, or do you have grandchildren? Just general.
After the seminary, I continued high school. It was just 12th grade. After that, I tried to find a job. I couldn't, I stayed about 7-8 months without a job. Then I found a job as a manager of a hotel in Mosul. It was, those days was four stars hotel, which was no higher than four. We didn't have 5 stars hotel in Baghdad, in Iraq at those days. That was, well, I remember the day I joined that hotel was January 11th, 71. I left Mosul in August 15th, 72. So I worked there as a manager of the hotel for about 20 months, or maybe 19 months, something like that. Then I moved to Baghdad because I rent a hotel with my brother-in-law for 1 year. After that, one of our community asked me to join him, to be a partner with him in his bar. I told him I have no money to pay my shares. He said, "Don't worry, I will help you with that, and then just whatever we make the profit, give me whatever you have till you paid off." So he encouraged me very much, and God bless his soul now. He passed away years ago. So he was a very helpful person, and his name was Antoine Kouza. Just for history, I have to mention his name. After that, also I had another bar with some other people. Then I had a hotel with also a partner with some others. After that, I sold all my shares in all my businesses. Then I got my own hotel. After 2 years of that hotel, I paid it off all. I sold it, and then with my brother, we took another hotel, was a 4 stars hotel. It cost us only furnituring and about, it was exactly till the day we opened, it cost us 395,500 dinars. A dinar, you know, it was $3 and something. Of course, in Iraq, you cannot. There is no loan. Even after we paid everything, I mean, everything was cash. So when after we opened, I went to the bank to ask for a loan. They gave me only 15,000 dinars. After I proved them that everything is paid, and I have all receipts. Just those, I took those money just like for for inventory of the hotel, because it was hotel and restaurant, and also I had a disco hall. Yeah.
Okay. What? So tell
Yeah.
me about let's shift a little bit here. Languages. How many languages do you know, and what did your parents and grandparents speak?
Well, my parents speak Chaldean, and they knew Arabic. They could speak it, but they couldn't know read and write. My father speak fluently Kurdish, because he used to go to Kurdish area for the business, and also his friends from Kurdish area used to come over our house to bring their merchandise to sell in Tilkepe. So he used to speak fluently Kurdish. My mom also knew a little bit Kurdish. I could understand it well while I was a small kid, but when I moved to Baghdad, I forgot it. You know, a language you don't use it, you forget it. As I was about 4 years in France, I learned a little bit of French. Now I forgot it, but sometimes I understand something. Of course, myself, I know Arabic very well, good classic Arabic. I know Aramaic very well. I had translated many books from Aramaic to Arabic, and of course the spoken Surah, which is different. For English, I think I can. Well, as we say in Tilkepe, بدون بطن جل مايا.
What was the common language in Tilkepe?
The common language in Tilkepe usually was Surath, but here they call it Chaldean.
And did you study at school? Did you study the Chaldean language at school?
No. Well, in elementary school, we studied just like ABC, which is alphabet, very few words, because we didn't have chance. We had only 1 hour a week. That was for catechism and for language. So we didn't have chance to learn good. But as a seminarian, then I learned it in the seminary very well, of course, because our main thing was to learn the language very well, because all the prayers are in Aramaic, so we have to be very good in that language. But during the summer, as a seminarians, we used to teach for the kids also catechism and language, but they couldn't learn it so well, unless very few ones, and then those they could go farther and learning it more as become for to serve at the church. Yeah.
Tell us about life. You left Iraq and you went to other country. You immigrated to others. Tell us about how you got to America, and the whole journey.
Yeah, I was I can say one of the very successful people from our community in business in Baghdad, because very soon my business was growing up very rapidly, because within 6, 7 years from being working for people, I had a very huge hotel as in Baghdad. It was 85 rooms and 4 stars hotel. It cost so much money, and you see, only in very few years I got that. Then also I had I established like a trading company, export and import. I was the first person who export sisse from Iraq to United States in 1986, and then at that time also I came for a visit to United States. My first time, I stayed only about 27 days. Because the government, there was no traveling, no one could leave Iraq during the war between Iraq and Iran. But they gave us a special passports just for those who had export merchandise from Iraq to the country they exported. They can go for 1 month. But I had a friend in London. He called me, said, I want you to come to stay with me for a few days before you go back to Iraq. So I stayed on about 26 days here. And then I went to London. We stayed 3-4 days, and then I went back home. In 90 also, my company had, the main office was in United States. Because I was partner with my brother who was in the United States. So I got also I asked for a visit visa. I got it. Just before I come, I went to Turkey because I used to import beer from Turkey. The company invited me for a week just to see their plan and their work, what is going on.
Which year did you?
That was, well, I left Baghdad with my wife. It was Wednesday, August 1st, 1990. I left Baghdad to Turkey about 6 o'clock p.m. Iraqi forces entered Kuwait at 2 o'clock after only about 8 hours. So I was there. My brother was also in Baghdad, who was living in the United States. He called me, said, don't come back. You have visa, go to United States. So I sent my wife back home because my kids were home in Baghdad. I came to United States as a visitor. I stayed about 10 months, then I went back home again. Later also I came to United States as a visit. Then I ran my visa to business visa because the company I had shares in the company here. I got it as a partner and as managing the company also. Then my family followed me, but later on I left to Baghdad because I had something to do for the business. I want to come back to United States. I couldn't come. Then I stayed for a while in Baghdad till I finished everything, sold whatever it was. Then I went to Jordan. In Jordan, I established a plan of liquor, making like Iraq and whiskey, gin, and other stuffs. Yeah, but I didn't succeed in that plan, so I lost it. Then I tried to come to United States. I couldn't get a visa. Yeah, I tried to go to Canada, but in France, when I was boarding the airport to the plane, they found my passport was not clear, not the real one. So they want to take me because I went from Italy to France. So I was intending to come to Canada, but From France, they want to send me back to Italy. I said no. I asked for asylum. After 2 years, I took it. It was approved. I stayed for a while till I had one of our friends has a hotel. He said, "Okay, if you want to work for me, I would try to get you a visa to come." I said, "Okay, thank you. I will." So I came with business visa again as a contract, yeah. And I stayed for a while till when it was limited for 3 years. We tried to renew it. I didn't get it, so it was denied. But I stayed till the situation in Iraq was going worse and worse. I asked for asylum and I granted, yeah. And that was in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well said.
Yani, yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and go.
So tell us about, when did you get married, and again, how many children do you have, I think, the family?
Yeah, I got married on January 2nd. Oh, sorry, January 12th, 1975. I had my first, my oldest son on Halloween Day. But I married in Baghdad. It was October 31st, 75. His name is Durait. The second son was born in January 17th, 1977. My daughter, Oranda, was born in September 19th, 1980. The youngest one is Rawad, was born in July 15th, 1983. Durait was married on August 12th, I think 2009 or maybe, no, 2004, yeah. And his other son is Kanner. Was born in December 11, 2007. Colin was born in April 23rd, 2008. Mila was born in August 2nd, 2014. Yeah. My second son, Ray, was married in October 8th, 2008. His son was born in, his son Landon was born in October 3rd, 2010. His daughter, Alexandra, was born in July 31st, 2013. My daughter Randa just married in July 9th, sorry, 2017. My youngest son married also on August 19th, 2017. Only about 40 days in between. Yeah.
That's great.
And now we are waiting for twins.
Beautiful.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Tell us
Yeah.
about your life in America. What do you do daily? Your daily life. What do you do? Tell us more about your work, and your what you're interested in.
Well, after my visa renewing the contract was denied, uh, but even though in my leisure time I used to help a lot at the church, and then I continued just volunteering in church and teaching Chaldean for seminarians and for other kids at the church. Um, Also translating. I had translated about 4 or 5 books from Aramaic to to Arabic, and the church published them. And I wrote another book about Tilkepe and one of the patriarchs. His name was Joseph II. Um, he was born in 1667, and he passed away in 1712. That was because he was from Turkey. I was intending to write an article about him, but I found that many things about. So I said it's not possible to be written as an article. So I extended it to a book. But while I was trying that, I said, okay, because he's from Tilkepe, let me ask something about Tilkepe, just like an introduction to the book to the life of Yusuf II. But I found many things. I mean, so I made this half of it from about Tilkepe, and another half of the book is about Yusuf II. Some friends they advised me to make it 2 different separate books. I said no, because whoever wants to know about Tilkepe, he would know something about Yusuf II. If they want to know something about Yusuf II, so they have to know something about Tilkepe. So that I can sell more. Really, we printed 1,500 copies. Just they stayed 1 month. Now I'm trying to, because I found more documents, more resources I have now in my hand. I can make some amendments and to add also some corrections because I was thinking of something when I saw other sources. Now I can depend on those sources more. I can make some corrections, and I can add many other things to make it more valuable. And then I'm thinking to translate it to English. It's written in Arabic. Yeah. Also, I am now I have another book is also almost, it's ready, not almost, it's 100% ready. Just I am waiting to publish it. It's about the manuscripts of Tilkepe. I started writing about them while I was back home, but there I just had my notes. Now I make it very, I wrote it very well, and I'm describing about 227 manuscripts in the library of the Church of Tilkepe. Some of them, well, we have one of them is from 11th century. It's from 10th or 11th. Because the letters, the fonts of those days were the same, about the 10th or the 11th. You cannot make very much difference between to make sure which century we are there. But and also, but it was on the. It's not on the papers, regular papers. It's on the skin of the deers.
Deer.
Deer, yeah. The other one, we have the oldest one, which is mentioned. There is a date on. It was in 1488, and then they come back to till about the 20th century. Yeah. So I am describing each one, the length of the paper, the width of the paper, how many leaves there are in each manuscripts, how many lines in each paper page. If it is only one column or two columns or more sometimes, what is it about? Then there is colophon at the end. Usually they write sometimes some notes, and also they write the name of the scriber, where it was written, to whom. Sometimes also they add, this book was sold, or like, let us say, I bought this book from so and so person, or and I bought it for the church, or I bought it for myself. There are some are donated from other regular people. They have them. They donate them to the church. So all those notes are very important because they give you many times they give you like the history. Like there is one, he's showing how Persians persecuted Christians in 1723. The scribe in those days, he's saying that the patriarch ordered all the other Christians in Persia, in Iran, to to redeem those who were taken prisoners by Muslims, because it's a shame on us as a Christians, our girls, our wives be taken as prisoners. So he said the patriarch sent them money also for those people. Those, like some, they were very well-known people or in high position among their people. Then they bought those, they liberate those prisoners. He said they came now, they are in the house of the patriarch, and they are telling their stories, how they were taken as prisoners, how they were persecuted, how they were forced to be Muslim, to deny Christianity and convert to Islam. You see, this is very important to show, and many other stories like this and something. Like also he said, we had a very heavy snow. Like Tigris, 40 days was frozen. And he's saying the date. He said, we lost many thousands and thousands of sheep. They were in desert because they were on the tents and inside the tents. But when it was snowing so hard, so heavy, the tents killed all those sheep.
What year do you think that?
That was, this one was mentioned in 1910. Yeah. So I wrote all these. I took as how they are written in Chaldean. I translate or Aramaic. I translated them to Arabic. Sometimes they write in we call it Gershuni. The Chaldean in Arabic, no, sorry, just opposite. The Arabic words in Chaldean fonts. So I used to copy it as it is and then convert it to Arabic fonts, but I prefer to leave it as it is written, not to change, because the language is changing. Now if you read those, what kind of language is this? It's funny. Just like people they don't know the language very well. But that was the language of those days.
Okay.
So I kept it as it is, and yeah.
Tell us more about life in Metro Detroit, and also some of the preservation projects you're working on, and why they are important.
Well, the main project now we are trying to do is translating the prayers from Aramaic to to Chaldean, or the spoken language. I already finished translate one of the books which we say during the High Mass on Sundays and feasts and commemorations. Father Boji had translated about half of it because we were not using the whole thing. So he picked just what we were using. But the bishop asked me to translate the whole thing. So I filled that in Chaldean. Then he asked me to translate it to Arabic too. So I finished that. Now I'm translating the office prayers. We call them the Vespers prayer, the night prayer, the morning prayer. I have done about, I can say 20% of it. But that's what I do during at the office, bishop's office. But we have another project, is also belongs to the diocese. We are trying to teach the youth, those they want to become deacons at the church. So we have been started since last February. It's almost a year. Now we are going to start third course, because we had 2 courses last year, and now we have the third. There is not so many are coming, but we are urging them, especially now I am asking the priest to encourage those youth who are serving in English Mass. Yeah. Also, we have another project teaching Chaldean to the in Catholic schools. So we have it now in 2 schools. We are trying, when we know that we are going in a very straight or very right direction, then we can increase it to more, because there are some other schools are willing, asking us to teach in their schools. But we want to get stronger and to get some experience from what we are doing, if this program is good or not, the subject. We are making amendments from time to time, and then hopefully this project will succeed. Because also in the church we are teaching this, and the parents of the kids are very happy, and they are proud of their kids. They are learning. Yeah. And of course, if they are proud, we are very happy. Yeah.
Why are these projects so important?
These projects are very, very important for us because, you know, the situation in Iraq is going from worse to worse. Myself, I don't believe that there's any future for Christianity, for Christians in general, in not just in Iraq. As we can see, it's in all Middle East, unfortunately. It's our land for thousands and thousands of years, but this is the way. I mean, we lost it. And not just we lost it, but we are kicked out of it, away out of the country, in different ways. I mean, by the law they make, or by like ISIS or other organizations, and the governments never gave the rights for Christians or other minorities. And I mean, the Christians are well educated. Most of the businesses like hotels, restaurants, tourism, even banks were managed by Christians. But they think themselves they are high class, and others are lower than them. So, but as I said, this is, as we think that, and not just we think, we are 100% sure that this become our land, and this become our country. We have to work hard for this country, as much as the country is giving us, we have also to give for this country more than we get. We should give more than we get. But for these projects, they show us also our identity, who we are, from where we came, what was our background, what our old fathers did for civilization. Our kids should know that. Plus, our kids also, they have to convert it to their kids and to continue. We hope they will continue from generation to generation. And also, I mean, now if sometimes when like Americans hear what we were or what we are, they are proud of us also, because we gave the civilization many things, like especially writing. We create writing. The Chaldeans did, the Babylonians. The law, Hammurabi put the first constitution. So the wheel was found in Mesopotamia. So that is good. I mean, that's why we are hoping that our future is here. Because our people are now separated in 7 continentals. But the majority are in the United States, especially in Michigan.
So one final question about being in America, life in America. How do you see it, you know, as an American citizen? How do you feel, a Chaldean American?
Well, myself, I'm not a citizen yet, but I have applied for citizenship. I'm waiting to be called for interview. That's my dream. I hope that dream would come fact very soon. In America, you feel you are a human being. You are free. I mean, as I said earlier, America gave us many things, but we have to also reflect and to give back. So whatever we can do for the progressing of this country to become better and better, we have to do it. Like now the new generation, the Chaldean generation, we have hundreds of doctors, we have hundreds of lawyers, we have hundreds of engineers, if I don't say thousands. So we are in the heart of the community, of the society. Plus, we have many hundreds and thousands of successful businessmen. I don't think I would be wrong if I say economy of Michigan is dependent on Chaldeans. And their stores, liquor stores, or grocery stores, or their business, other businesses. Yeah, especially Michigan. I mean, we can't do many things, and we are doing well, America is good for us, so we have to be very good for America too. And our people, they know how to pay back the good. They don't ignore. They are not what do you call it? I mean, if you do something good with them, they will do more than what they got. This is what the Chaldeans are.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shamash, for always